Hey everybody, welcome back to Potty Mouth Moms. My name is Veronica and we're talking gut dysbiosis introduction today. So I'm breaking out the audio visuals because we do love audio visuals and, classes and sessions. So, right, I did do a live this morning and was sharing some stuff on gut dysbiosis because I had a lovely woman from Finland tap in and ask about mast cell syndrome. And I talk about gut dysbiosis as being a whole body problem. And gut dysbiosis, as I've said before, is a disruption in your microbiome. And your microbiome is a nice little ecosystem that you got that is filled with trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that regulate your system. And in that system, you not only have beneficial organisms, you have harmful organisms. And I ended up going down the trail, the little rabbit hole, of trying to explain why a lot of immune disorders are, instigated prior to even birth. If you are spiritual, because God is great and we do honor the mother and the father here, because all of this is a blessing from them, and life is a blessing from them, because they are great. And I give thanks all the time. So blessings to all of those who honor the mother and the father and are good human beings and practice humbleness, humility, kindness, and love, because those things are all free. So they had brought me down the path of trying to figure out what was wrong with me when I was really, really sick and on my deathbed. And I had a huge issue with gluten. And I couldn't understand why I had an issue with gluten. And then I ended up finding the term gut dysbiosis. You can check my other videos because I did explain why. But this is my storyboard. This is when, I first started getting into really starting to look like a crazy schizophrenic and, which I'm not, by the way, my nerdum. This is how I function with my nerdum. So audio visuals, because, the neurodivergence is strong. And, yes, this is what smart people do, because we have to keep our thoughts straight. This is my storyboard, and this is how I got into this. So the microbiome, harmful and beneficial bacteria. But the microbiome can also be affected, because of how you were genetically predisposed to issues. And spirituality leads down the path of ancestral curses and pre-existing traumas that it might have had along your genetic trail. Not just you, your mom, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and for eons there could have been ancestral issues that we don't even know about. But in today's day and age, we are the ancestral curse breakers. So hey, high five to those who are the curse breakers, because we ain't putting up with nobody's shit, even if it came from my family. So the ability to know whether or not you are a genetic curse breaker is a great thing, but it's also looking at your health and going, okay, well, if I had something that before I even was born, was potentially a genetic issue, and then it was passed along through the bloodline, that would be a TOPHY, ATOPHY. And we see this with like allergies and immune issues that are genetically predisposed. I will get into that in another one. I wanted to talk about this because the great female that I got to meet today in relation to her issue was a mast cell disruption. And I was talking about gut dysbiosis because gut dysbiosis, when you treat gut dysbiosis and you can regulate your gut, that actually helps regulate your entire body, because 70% of your immune system is actually developed in your gut, as well as 90% of like your serotonin and your dopamine, which is your mental, your hormones, your chemicals in your brain that produce really the happiness and the things that they try to give you medicines for to mimic it, but you can actually eat and actually stimulate your gut to, make that better. So this is my storyboard because I wanted to start off with just some audio visuals on gut dysbiosis. And it is the imbalance of the gut microbiome, the harmful versus beneficial bacteria imbalance. And if your body is predisposed to not really be able to differentiate those two, you're born into this world in like a DEFCON situation where you can't already distinguish, so your body's already on red alert. It needs to relearn how to function pretty much, or just function in general. So by eating healthily and knowing your body, not the body that it's been told that it needs to be, by training it and learning yourself, you can actually treat these things. You can promise you that you could actually benefit yourself better than anything that you've probably tried previously. So dysbiosis, common triggers of those, for me, it was gluten. Gluten was a huge prime disruptor for my entire body. And I'm talking about arthritis, joint pain, inflammation, headaches, skin issues, the whole gamut. The whole machine was broken. It was broken. So common triggers, like I said, gluten, and again, previous videos, please go take a look at them. Antibiotics, human and animal fed. So what you take in your mouth is the number one breakdown that I had for gut dysbiosis: ingestion. What are you eating? Antibiotics, whether they're given to you because of some illness or something that needs to be treated, or if you are eating something that is been given antibiotics, your meats. A lot of the meat that is produced is given antibiotics because I don't know why. Because apparently putting them out in a field, and I know why they do, because when you stick them all together and they have no clean water and they have no clean space, infections are really easily spread instead of sticking them out in a field where they can eat, healthy food and, the real grass and stuff. Stress, acute or chronic. Stress is a huge issue. I mean, who isn't stressed? Who isn't stressed today? I mean, we live in a hamster wheel. And stress not only is a prime disruptor in gut dysbiosis, it's a trigger for cortisol elevation. What's making you stressed? Who's stressing you out? Is your job stressing you out? Your kids stressing you out? Your spouse stressing you out? Who's stressing you out? What are you stressed out about? You're stressed out about everything. So what can you cut off? That's causing you stress. Because I guarantee you start working on stress management, you're going to find that your problems are going to get less and less and less. So stop being a people pleaser. Stop worrying about who's going to judge you for what you're doing. Look at me. Do you think I give a shit what people think about me? I don't care what people think about me. Thanks be to the mother and the father, because they're the only opinions that really freaking matter in this world. I don't care what you think about me. I'm here to teach you. Stress, acute or chronic. How long have you been carrying that stress? I'm sure you got migraines. I'm sure you got stomach issues. Did you get the watery poops called the IBS? Did you got the irritable bowel syndrome because you're so stressed out you don't know how to manage yourself? Why are you so stressed out? Take 10, 15 minutes a day. Sit, meditate while you're driving instead of turning on the pop crap music. Turn on some meditative music. I'm going to tell you there's some Sufism, poetry, Rumi. Listen to some whirling dervish dances. There's tons of meditative music. There's things that are not just silent meditation. There's actual visual meditation. There's audio meditation. Get to know thyself. Know thyself, because when you get to know yourself, you get to realize what's important in your life. Acute versus chronic stress. Poor diet. How to navigate crap food. Because I guarantee you most of you are eating crap food. How do you navigate the crap food? Because it's all crap today. Guess what? You go to my website. It's www.pottymouthmoms.com. I offer services to sit with people Zoom calls if you want. To go through your cabinets, to go through your fridge, because I love to scrap cook. I'm a scrap cook. Hooah. I love recycling food that I've already, began to cook with. Called a fridge forager. What do you have in your pantry? What do you have in your fridge? What do you have in your cabinets? What have you cooked already? What time of the days do you like to cook? How many hours in a day do you have to cook? What do you go out to the grocery store and buy? How many people do you have in your family that you have to cook for? How many times a week are you eating out? What are you eating when you're eating out? Because I guarantee you the majority of that food is probably crap. How much money are you spending on DoorDash, Uber Eats, eating out that you could be buying for yourself and spending the time to get to know thyself as we are supposed to? God is great. And that way you can order to treat yourself appropriately, because you treat your gut, you treat your problems. Stop eating the crap food. Stop buying the crap drinks from those, takeout windows at the cafe stores. Because all that crap that's in those. It's ingestion, what you're putting in your mouth, what you're putting in your body. Processed foods, easy and cheap. Yeah, of course they are. You know what's easy and cheap? A banana, an apple. You want to sit and talk about food, money, time? I got services open if you're willing to spend money on other stuff. Hey, this is my job. This is what I'm here to do, is to teach you how to cook, how to put your money into food that matters. You don't have a lot of money, guess what? Frozen foods. Your frozen fruits and vegetables are fresh picked, they're cleaned, and guess what? They're frozen. You want something that's not in season? Go buy it frozen. Cheap and easy. McDonald's. There was a whole documentary somebody did about the side effects of eating fast food. For all those young kids, go look it up. Yeah. And all this stuff is right in front of your face. This is called the universal laws. You don't think when they make movies about what they're doing and random stuff that they're putting in food and how they treat you and all these science fiction and all these, different movies that are based off of somebody's ideas or, imagination. No, that's called universal law, because they can't be doing stuff to you without actually advertising it, and they're not going to put it directly in mainstream media. But it's been out there. Cheap and easy food. Cheap and easy food. A cucumber. Carrot. Oh my God, I don't like that. I'll teach you how to cook it. I'll teach you what to put it in. I'll teach you how to put turmeric and cayenne pepper and all these other spices in your food. So guess what? You're actually being treated medically, medicinally, naturally, as well as treating your whole body. Environmental toxins, air, fluorinated water, plastic bottles, receipts. Do you know receipts have BPA in them? Any cashier that's working at a store should be wearing plastic gloves or some sort of protection on their fingers, because BPA is actually in the receipts, because they're not actually printed with ink. They're printed with heat. So when you're touching your receipts, you know how many receipts they're touching? Bet you didn't know that one either. Soil contamination. Of course the soil is contaminated. The air is contaminated. Do you think the soil ain't contaminated? Environmental toxins. Fluorinated water. You know, fluoride's actually a byproduct of toxic waste. But yet it's okay that you're getting it in your toothpaste. I'm not saying anything that's not out there. I mean, you can go look this up. You wanna do the Google? Go ahead and do the Google and keep feeding that ugly beast. Again, know what you're researching. Know what you're researching on. Because God is great, and He has given us enough tools that you can do your own research. Plastic bottles. You know how many people have to use plastic bottles for water? Because number one, they can't even get water that's clean on their own land, let alone out of their taps. and they have to use plastic bottles. Ziploc just had oh my God, this is public information, so you can't get me for defamation of character, you can't get me for slander, you can't get me for any of that. There was just a massive lawsuit by one of the leading brand companies of baggies that you store your food in because of transfer of plastics. And when I talk about gut dysbiosis in relation to that, do you know that a woman's menstrual cycle is actually one of the ways that women are supposed to, that we can detox plastics out of our system? Now, I don't get a menses anymore because I had to have a hysterectomy years ago because I had so many freaking problems because of all the issues and all the amazing different tests that I had done on me because nobody could tell me what the problem was. And after having 2 amazing children, I had to have a hysterectomy and one of my ovaries removed. So I don't get a menstrual cycle. So I will be talking about plastic detox. Well, plastic detox, number one, stop using it. It's a really easy, convenient thing that we use on a regular basis. But you got to ask yourself, why do you think that this huge company just had a massive lawsuit and lost in regards to plastic contamination? This ain't fake news. I got to take these things off because it's killing my nose. And I'm not editing any of this. This is all raw. You're getting the raw deal. I'm not sitting here and editing this stuff. Gut dysbiosis is a disruption in your microbiome. All these things add up to instigate and to propagate and to disrupt your body. And when your body is in a severe state of distress, you can't even think about knowing yourself. Do you have stress? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, and no matter how much you spend, it's not going to tell you what's wrong until you actually stop and look at yourself and go, holy crap, because nobody's going to give 2 craps about you until you do. And you stop and say, wow, okay, maybe she's right about some of this. Maybe this is food for thought. Legitimately, food for thought. Legitimately. Because when you start treating your belly, when you start treating yourself, and you start treating your gut disruption, guess what? Your mental clarity starts popping. God is good. Follow along because there's so much more that I need to say. Because I talk about epigenetics. I talk about cultural eating because not everybody's the same. Just like everybody should not be treated in a medical system the same. You should not be given the same medicines as the person that's in the bed next to you or that, has the same symptoms as you because you're not a diagnosis. You're a human being. And a lot of these things can be treated by eating well and eating native. And what's native to your culture? What's native to your background? What's native to where you live? How were you raised? What did your ancestors eat? Even if it might not be good food because it's tainted, it has pesticides, it has all these other things that are wrong with it. It's been genetically modified. How do you mitigate that? How do you mitigate that? How do you mitigate? I'll tell you, there's herbs that can mitigate. There's plants that can mitigate. Garlic, onions, herbs, fresh herbs, dried herbs, spices, mitigators, stimulators, antimicrobials, parasite cleansings. Yeah. I'm not the only person that's talking about this. The only difference is that all the blessings be from the mother and the father. This is the path that I have been put on. And I will continue to post videos. And they will make more sense because Lord knows, squirrel, 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 squirrel. So let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. Let me know if there's anything you want me to rehash about. I will continue to post videos, and I will continue to post stuff on my post section that does relate to grocery list items, that does relate to some recipes that are just suggestions, and you can tailor them. They don't have to be specific. When I cook from my heart because it is a spiritual practice in that alone. You know, blessings be to the food that I have in front of me to prepare it. And when you sit down, do you pray to your food? Do you pray to the Mother and the Father? You know, thank you, Lord, for these thy gifts that we are about to receive. Can you put a little healing love into your food? Can you put a little bit of healing power, you know, to the earth, to the air, to the fire, to the water? Can you use the elements that the Mother and the Father have given us? I'm not any different than you. I just know how to use it and use it well. So follow along. I got tons of tips. Let me know what you like. Love you guys. Make sure you're eating healthy and know what you're stuffing in your mouth, because it's all food for thought. Glory be to the Father and the Mother.